Tourism in recent times has emerged as a main economic activity all over the world in view of discretionary time and money available with the people. Also, the factors such as better destinational accessibility, favorable exchange rates against local currency, restricted political barriers for entry, local hospitality, etc., have largely favored the tourists to satisfy their psychological and physiological needs. The concept of geographic tourism largely bridges nature and education to the inseparable aspect of recreation. In most of the existing natural tourism destinations, emphasis is more on the geographical and ecological information. Tourism geography essentially the study of travel and tourism. Tourism is also considered now as an industry as well as a socio-cultural activity. Tourism geography covers a wide range of interests including environmental impact of tourism, geographies of tourism and leisure economies, managerial issues, sociology, locations, etc. Above all, tourism geography deals strikingly with the study of travel and its impact on places. Geography is fundamental to the study of tourism as tourism is geographical in nature. The combination is aptly termed geotourism. Basically, tourism relates to movement of people to places outside the normal places of work and community. It also includes various recreational, religious and adventurous activities carried out during the vacation with appropriate facilities created to meet the needs of a tourist. Geotourism, on the other hand, refers to sustainable tourism focusing on experiencing and appreciating Earth's geological and geographical features, which in turn provides environmental and cultural understanding. Geotourism lays emphasis also on conservation and improving local economies. Under the terminology of geotourism, geo represents predominantly natural landscapes and landforms, and tourism, as said before, refers to visiting sites of heritage, culture, climate, flora and fauna, sporting events, etc., keeping in view of accessibility, language and cost factors. In tourism, physical geography provides the essential background in combination with issues on environmental impact that are essential in managing and development of tourist destinations. Geotourism stricto sensu is purely the geological and geomorphologically focused tourism. Geotourism also refers to the tourism that sustains or enhances the geographical character of a place. In geotourism, although the focus is on physical geography that deals essentially with topography, climate, soil, vegetation, etc., and also their interrelationships and human responses. The recent developments in human geography encompassing interrelated human, political, cultural, social and economic aspects have imparted a major thrust to different types of tourism such as cultural tourism, traditional tourism, eco or scenic tourism and purely entertainment tourism. Accordingly, geography of tourism relates to both natural and man-made attractions. Cultural tourism accordingly relates to visiting any culture other than one's own, covering wide gambit of attractions such as traveling to a foreign country of varied culture, visiting historical sites and areas of archaeological interest, historical buildings and monuments, places of historical significance, museums, modern urban districts, rural pockets, political, educational and religious institutions, etc. Recently, a branch of geographic tourism, namely cultural heritage tourism has been distinctly carved out of cultural tourism, oriented exclusively towards the cultural heritage of a specific tourist location. Heritage tourism involves traveling specifically to experience the places and activities that authentically represent the stories and people of the past, whereas cultural heritage tourism includes the experiences and activities at a given tourist place representing both past and present. Cultural heritage tourism is the fastest growing segment of the tourism industry because of the rising trend towards increasing specialization among tourists. This trend is evident with the rise in the volume of tourists who seek adventure, culture, history, archaeology and interaction with local people. Cultural heritage tourism is important for various reasons. It has a positive economic and social impact. It establishes and reinforces identity. It helps to preserve cultural heritage. With culture as the main instrument, cultural heritage tourism facilitates harmony and understanding among people, supports culture and helps renewing tourism. Cultural heritage tourism has a number of objectives that must be met within the context of sustainable development, such as conservation of cultural resources, accurate interpretation of resources, authentic visitors experience and proper utilization of the earned revenues. One can see therefore that cultural heritage tourism is not only concerned with identification, management and protection of the heritage values, but also involved in understanding the impact of tourism on communities and regions, achieving economic and social benefits, providing financial resources for protection as well as marketing and promotion. Heritage tourism also refers to marketing of a location to members of a diaspora who have distant family roots in a particular place. Traditional tourism relates to exclusive tours to see national festivals, arts and handicrafts, music and folklore, ethnic or native life, customs, places of worship, festivities, etc. In general, cultural events and traditional attractions and events are particularly strong motivators for tourism all over the world. Ecotourism encompasses visiting theme parks, natural ecosystems, wildlife sanctuaries, distinct assemblage of flora and fauna, etc. Thus, ecotourism invariably covers a wide gambit of attractions involving physiographic and geographical features too, such as beaches, mountains, rivers, islands, forests, mangroves, desert landscapes, etc. Ecotourism is a form of tourism involving visiting fragile, pristine and relatively undisturbed natural areas intended as a low impact and often small scale alternative to standard commercial tourism. Its purpose may be to educate the traveler on ecology and conservation and also to directly benefit the local communities by economic development. Ecotourism has gained momentum since the 1980s due to critical endeavor by the environmentalists, so that posterity might benefit from and experience the eco destinations that may remain currently unaffected by human intervention. In general, ecotourism lays emphasis not only on the living component of the natural environments, but focuses on a socially responsible travel, personal growth and environmental sustainability. Ecotourism is intended to offer tourists an insight into the impact of human beings on the environment and also to foster a greater appreciation of our natural habitats. Responsible ecotourism programs include those that minimize the negative aspects of conventional tourism on the environment and enhance the cultural integrity of local people. Therefore, while evaluating environmental and cultural factors as integral parts of ecotourism, following issues such as usage of energy efficient alternatives, conservation and recycling of resources, especially water, soil and vegetation, creation of economic opportunities for local communities, etc., need to be properly addressed. For these reasons, ecotourism often appeals to environmentalists and also to those advocating social responsibility. Recently, besides conventional tourism systems related to geography, medical and educational tourisms have emerged in many parts of the globe and are becoming increasingly popular. As the expenses on medical procedure have escalated in the West, many are inclined towards increasingly popular medical tourism in India. Even in the domestic front, people have become more and more aware of health through education, and with the improvement in financial status, people have begun to travel to different destinations in search of a suitable treatment. A close relationship exists between education and tourism. It is known that many of the educational institutions are encouraging educational tours. Conference centers to hold meetings, exhibitions and symposia are on the rise in many places. Effect of education coupled with development in information and telecommunication technologies, increase in research and computerization of essential services have given a greater thrust to tourism. Tourism is a service industry. It provides pleasure and recreation for some and a source of income for others. Tourism has now become the world's fastest growing industry. Furthermore, globalization and technological changes in terms of open sky policy, rapid transport systems, etc., have given a great impetus to travel and tourism. A specific geographical region that has been designated by a governmental organization or tourism bureau as having common cultural and environmental characteristics is referred to as tourism region, such as United Kingdom's Lake District, California's wine country, etc. The tourist regions are also often named after historical or current administrative and geographical areas. Some have names created specifically for tourism purposes. One such example of relatively a new form of tourism is the eno-tourism, is also called wine tourism in Spain, emerging as an alternative to the well known beach tourism, catering mainly to the leisure travelers. The names often reflect certain positive qualities of the area and suggest a coherent tourism experience to visitors. Countries, states, provinces, other administrative regions are often carved up into tourism regions. In addition to drawing the attention of potential tourists, these tourism regions often provide tourists who are otherwise unfamiliar with the area with manageable number of attractive options. While advocating tourism and infrastructure development, there need to be a proper analysis of consequences of tourism that would adversely affect the environment by rapid resource depletion, consumption, pollution, landscape destruction, etc. Large scale mass tourism places heavy demand on local resources in competition with locally existing economic activities and usages. When tourism is given priority as an economic activity, the local population will invariably be deprived of many of the resources that are required for their normal use. Such depletions may be in terms of land, construction materials, water, fuel, power, etc. Land is an important resource of tourism. infrastructure that may include road, accommodations such as hotels and resorts, entertainment venues, airport, vehicle parking slots, etc. Although the extent of infrastructure may not necessarily be a prerequisite for tourism, any tourism development activity invariably accompanies land resource consumption. This may result in displacement of local residents, obliteration of existing invaluable agricultural land, disruption of local livelihood and related economic activities. Heavy consumption of construction materials for tourism infrastructure development may deprive local people of construction activity and other uses. Even construction material like sand may get excavated from precious beaches, leading to ecological imbalance and obliteration of natural landscape. Vital vegetation may have to pave way for roads, buildings, etc. As regards water resource, demand escalates with infrastructural development. There may be heavy consumption of water even at the tourism destinations having a dry climate where limited and judicious usage of water is warranted. Increase in water consumption coupled with tourism activities may severely damage the ecosystem through discharge of untreated sewage into the environment, especially groundwater, lakes, rivers and marshes. The issue might take an even more serious turn at the destinations characterized by coral reefs, bioreserves, fish breeding centers, etc. Most of the tourist destinations experience disappropriate increase in transportation activities that may result in alarming rise in pollution levels. Air pollution may be one of the threat related to transportation. Smoke comprising unburned carbon particles in an emulsion of water vapor and gases like neon, helium, methane, krypton, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, ozone, etc. when exceeds various threshold concentration levels may pose a serious threat to the cultural assets and even may adversely affect health and quality of life of local residents. Similarly, in areas of dense concentration of tourism facilities and infrastructures, noise pollution may be on rise, creating annoyance and dissatisfaction among visitors who seek relaxation and tranquility, especially in destinations of religious reverence and sacred sites. Noise level exceeding 80 decibels for over 8 hours a day is reported to result in many physiological and psychological disorders. Littering is yet another serious concern in places like mountain resorts, beaches, religious places, etc., where pristine environment is expected. Changing the fundamental nature and appearance of landscape due to infrastructural developmental activities at the destination may pose problems to the environment in the form of disruption of habitat, fragmentation of ecosystem and reduction in biodiversity. Globally, tourism development takes place to a large extent in coastal areas known for several unique and specialized ecosystems in the physiographies including sand dunes, coastal wetlands, mangroves, coral reefs, etc. and issues need to be addressed more scientifically to prevent serious damages to the ecology, as each ecosystem is characterized by a high level of biodiversity. Accordingly, protection of invaluable coastal stretches from erosion, storm waves and tidal surges need to be prioritized. Deforestation for tourism development may lead to local, national as well as global problems such as accelerated erosion and increase in carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere. Extent of specific impacts to the environment vary widely from destination to destination depending on various factors such as climate, topography, tourist flow, carrying capacity, quality of tourists, type of attraction, seasonality of tourism, level of infrastructure, available resources, etc., besides local environmental policies and regulations. In order to overcome the ill effects of unscientific infrastructure and tourism development at any given destination, the stakeholders including the tourists, tourism industry workers and even the local residents ought to be made aware of the threats, and education is one of the simplest and effective means to implement measures to prevent negative environmental effects of tourism. In conclusion, the geography of tourism represents interaction of people and environment, while the human environment interaction is likely to have negative consequences. Concerted efforts are required by all the stakeholders to maximize the benefits that tourism can have for the environment at the destination. The importance of geographic tourism lies actually in understanding the beauty of our planet through travel and establishing invaluable contact with the nature, which in turn provides a recreation, thereby breaking the monotony of life and rejuvenating the